Wake up with a smile, and then in a while, come to lunch with the ladies. Lunch with the ladies. Lunch with the ladies. Lunch with the ladies.
Welcome to the Libby Show, Lunch with the Ladies.
In this high-energy show, the ladies talk to two friends and icons in the world of daytime, Cady McClain and Terri Garber. They dish about their days on daytime and nighttime soaps. And between the two of them, they've covered just about all of them. Three-time Emmy winner Cady McClain talks about days, her plays, Axial theater, and more. Renowned actress Terri Garber of Dynasty and North and South talks about her roles on these legendary shows. Then, Cady and Terri talk about what inspires them, what's next for them, and about the return of shoulder pads. To top it all off, Cady and Terri face off in Days vs. Dynasty. Play along with them to test your knowledge of the characters on these iconic shows. So, let's get talking.
Welcome to the Libby Show, Lunch with the Ladies. We have a very special episode today. We have my dear friend, Cady McClain, joining us again. She was on the very first Libby Show, and she's back to tell us about Days of Our Lives, Law and Order, and all the new stuff that she's doing. And she's bringing her friend Terri Garber, who you may know from As the World Turns, North and South, or Dynasty. I had the pleasure of hanging out with both Cady and Terri recently at a New York City play. And now we'll all be hanging out with them today, and we'll have some fun. We're going to play a game, Days or Dynasty. We'll see how they do, and we'll see how you do. Stacy, since you know Cady as well, why don't you give us an intro for the lovely Cady McClain?
Absolutely. I'm so excited because I've known Cady for a couple of years, and she's been instrumental in my career and a great mentor to me. Cady McClain made history for being the first actor to win a daytime Emmy in 3 different dramas: All My Children, As the World Turns, and The Days of Our Lives. And she recently appeared on a Law and Order SVU episode, and film work includes My Favorite Year and Pennies from Heaven, and other TV work, as you may well remember, Cheers, as well as Saint Elsewhere. And her feature directorial debut, Seeing is Believing, Women Direct, has won many awards in prominent film festivals and can also be seen on PBS and through Canopy. Now, Cady was also honored to be awarded the International Matrix Award for her work relating to supporting the female voice in film and television, and that was by the Association of Women in Communications. She's also an ambassador for Kids in the Spotlight, which is so cool. It's a foster youth filmmaking program, and she's also the artistic director for Axial Theater in Westchester, New York. And lastly, she leads and teaches acting at the Michael Howard Studios in New York City. Ladies, please welcome Cady McClain.
Oh my God. Hey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Stacy. Aw, it's so good to see you. I was a mentor for Women in Film Los Angeles a few years ago, and Stacy was one of my mentees.
Yes.
So we had a lot of fun. Yeah, it's really great.
And that's how I met Stacy. It was through you, Cady.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, it was.
I didn't realize it until Stacy reminded me.
So
So,
cool.
Cady, I want to start with, now you know I'm a big Days fan, and when you got the role, you texted me this little hint, and I figured it out right away, and I was so excited. So tell me what it was like going back to daytime. How was it on the set these days?
It's always wonderful. For whatever reason, I measure the health of a set by whether or not they have fresh flowers. You work on these shows for so many years, and they have these beautiful bouquets, and they're bringing them in on trays, and then suddenly all the flowers have become silk and permanent, or plastic and permanent, and you're like, uh-oh, I think this show is going down. So it was nice to see fresh flowers around, I'll say. It's hopeful.
And so nice to see your face, and especially to see you at the annual Horton Christmas tree, putting the little Christmas ornaments on the tree. That was pretty cool to watch you there.
Thank you so much. The first year that I got to do that, I've only done it twice. I didn't quite realize the gravity of the Horton Christmas tree and those ornaments until, someone said, you realize that some of these are in the Smithsonian. And I was
Oh.
like, oh my gosh, like, please be careful. So this year, I think I came with a lot more gravitas and understanding that what a privilege it was to be even invited to be a part of the tree hanging at the Horton house. And it was just a beautiful experience. And there was this little girl who was very stressed out, and I got to hold her and calm her down. And she just fell asleep on me. And so they decided to leave her there. And so I got to carry this little girl the whole time, which was just wonderful for me. I loved it.
That's wonderful. And I do understand that Days is consistently in the top 10 streaming on Peacock. So hopefully a whole new generation of people will be watching.
That's great to hear. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Ileana, do you have a question for Cady?
I do. So, Cady, I know that one of your true passions and loves is theater. Currently the artistic director at a long-standing theater based in New York. Can you tell us some of the great things that you're doing there? And tell us about this theater group.
Oh, thank you so much. Axial Theater has been a theater company for 22 years, and I am very honored to be leading them into the future. We really focus on the development of new plays, as well as creating opportunities for our ensemble to work in both new and classic plays. The last fall, we did a wonderful production of Never the Sinner by John Logan. The focus of our plays have a touch of something that has to do with social issues or social justice. So that particular play had to do with child murder. And then other short plays that we've done have dealt with issues from abortion to the epidemic of female breast cancer. I'll tell you, being an artistic director is really, really, really hard work. It's harder work than I ever imagined it to be, because I have to be responsible for everything. And now I'm learning 45 pages of a monologue simultaneously in what's called Scouse for the play Shirley Valentine. So my brain is just like, this is it. But
Well, please don't stop. Continue the work. Don't stop.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you so much. Yeah, I know you got to come and see Never the Sinner, which was really wonderful.
I did. It was
We loved it.
magnificent. It was magical.
We loved it. And
thank
really, like, I left thinking what you think is what you want.
That's the goal, really. And through our reading series, we've been able to also sort of capture that kind of conversation with the audience. And that's the pleasure of being an artistic director, is to have that exact experience that you had, Ileana. So I'm glad.
Great. Stacy, I think Cady started to talk about what she's got coming up next, but your question for her is?
Absolutely. So that's exactly what my question is. You've got so many things going on, but what is up next? And tell us more about this one woman show that you're doing.
Oh, thanks, Stacey. Well, there's actually two things. One is the play at Cape May, which is Shirley Valentine by Willie Russell, and Roy Steinberg, the artistic director of Cape May Stage, is going to be directing that. It is a one-woman show. If you guys remember the 80s movie, Shirley Valentine, and it is, a 45-page monologue. Who said yes to that? And I'm also just putting the finishing touches on a film that we shot last year for Axial, and that film is about climate change, and it's told using the language of a poet named B.K. Fisher. And so it's not like your classic type of poem. It's a recitation of poetry that has a story arc with some, cutaways. But mostly it's like people around the campfire telling each other the story about what happened when the floods came, and then everyone had to get on the cargo ship and head to Greenland, and who was on the ship, and how did they, survive and get there. And so that is going into color right now. So I'm very excited. I'm still doing a little film. Yes.
And
That's exciting.
Yeah. So,
and now Terri, Beth, can you introduce us to Terri?
It would be my pleasure, Suzanne. Terri is best known for playing, and I love this word, the vixen in the North and South trilogy and on the OG Dynasty. She's also been on Texas, Santa Barbara, General Hospital, and As the World Turns. She loves soap opera. She loves soap opera fans. And her daughter, Molly Hager, is a Broadway actress and TV actress. Terri currently lives in New York City with her husband, director William Rudabush, and their multi-poo dog, Boo. Oh, so Terri, you've been on so many daytime and nighttime dramas. What are some of your favorite memories? What do you look back on and say, wow, that just stands out?
Oh, there were so many things. I mean, I can think of little stories like when we were shooting North and South. It was a year on location in the South, in Natchez and in Charleston and elsewhere. I can't remember where else. And it was really hot one summer, and we had on corsets, camisoles, excuse me, leggings, pantaloons, hoop skirts, things over that. And then the costume, which was probably 30 pounds. And then our hair was in wigs and spray. And we're sitting around getting ready to do a shot. And there are these bugs in the South called no-see-ums. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but you can't see them, and they bite. And the only way to get rid of them is with an Avon product called Skin So Soft, but we didn't know that. So we go on and we're shooting, and they're biting. They loved our hairspray. So they went into our heads and they started biting, and we had to do the scene. And as soon as they yelled cut, we all pulled out of our boots the combs that had the long tails, and we'd start poking our heads, and they'd say, okay, action. And we'd put them back and we would keep going. It was crazy.
What a nightmare.
It was crazy. And I mean, I have this wonderful memory of Angela Lansbury when I did Murder, She Wrote. I had to play dead, and they had the camera in close on my face, and my eyes were fluttering, and I couldn't get them to not flutter. And Angela pulled me aside and she said, if you look downwards and you keep looking down, the camera will only see you looking like your eyes are closed, and they won't do that. So I did it, and it worked. So thank you, Ms. Lansbury.
Wow.
Tricks of the trade.
Yes.
Wow.
Good to know. Good to know if we ever have to play dead.
Yeah, I know. If you ever have to play dead.
So, Terri, first of all, I want to say I wore shoulder pads in honor of Dynasty.
Thank you very much. I love shoulder pads.
I heard they're back, and
They're
at this,
back.
they're back.
They're back. You are.
And they're wonderful at this age because it brings you up when everything else is going down.
Yes, they're wonderful. And they make your waist look really small. They're fabulous. I can't wait till they're full on back.
Yeah, they're
Dynasty
power
back.
shoulders.
Yes.
Power. Yes.
Absolutely.
Power shoulders.
Yes.
So do you have any memories from Dynasty?
Well, I have one memory. They're all sort of weird, not happy-ish or fabulous memories, but there were 6 weeks when we were held captive, all of us, in a cabin by Bo Hopkins. And we were taken from a wedding. And so we were bridesmaids, and we were wearing these Pepto-Bismol pink eyelet dresses designed by Nolan Miller for 6 weeks every day. And at the end, Heather and I said, we are taking these dresses when we don't have to wear them, and we are burning them and doing a dance around them. I just never forget that.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That's still better than bugs in your hair.
Yes, better than bugs in the hair, for sure.
I so get it.
So,
Thanks.
Messalina, I know you have a question for Terri about her daughter, who Cady and I just saw do a magnificent performance in White Girl in Danger in New York City.
Thank you.
Terri, your daughter's a Broadway actress, and I was just wondering, what kind of advice did you give her when she was starting out?
You know, she didn't want any advice from me. She didn't want any help from me. She didn't want me to be involved in her career. So I let her do whatever she did, and she's doing incredibly well. And I'm so proud of her. I would never have deterred her because by age 3, I knew that's what she was going to do. She was going to be a singer and a dancer and an actress. And it's just always been that way.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, so nice that you're so supportive and like allowed her to be so independent. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. You know, as long as your child is happy what they're doing, that's all you should care about, really.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very true. Very true.
So I have a question. What's the best advice that you've ever given someone in your life, whether it be about your career or just in general?
I think about the career. The advice I gave was that it has to be your number one. You have to give up everything for it to get started, to get going. So you have to really, really be committed. And that's my advice.
I love that. That is so true.
This question actually pertains to both of you.
Mhm.
So the question is, even though there are only 4 network daytime dramas, the concept lives on in many forms, many platforms. What do you think is the evergreen and popular? Also, do you feel that women have come a long way in their portrayal in daytime? What are your thoughts?
I don't think that they've come a long way. I don't know how they could improve, but women are, I wouldn't say objects exactly, but you know, there's somewhat of that. You have to look a certain way, be a certain size, you know.
A certain size. Wow.
I really was not expecting that answer because I think women's roles have been changed over the years in film and so many other things. But I do agree with you about what you're saying on Days of Our Lives. I mean, they always look great. They're always quite thin. They have successful careers. They're never working. But it's a very high standard.
Well, I think with the soaps, you know, there tends to be that fantasy, right? So what is the fantasy of, you know, the extreme of the super good looking? I think also in Los Angeles, it is a standard of good looking. It's like, I heard some comedian say this once, like they tilt the America and all the most beautiful people roll down into LA. It's not quite the same in New York, you know, you can be like a little unique, a little different, you know.
I agree
Right,
with
but
that. Yeah,
in
absolutely.
LA, it's disturbingly good looking. And so that part of it is, of course, you know, it's a visual medium. People are putting a camera on you, and you know, it's not a democracy. It's what sells, you know, and sometimes lowest common denominator is, you know, that person is just somebody people like to look at for whatever reason, you know, big eyes, big boobs, who knows, you know, or the people who have power. I mean, I think it is true that women are continuing to have to fight for positions of power in Hollywood and in the money making and in the decision making area. I certainly, as a leader, have discovered one very specific difference between the way I lead and the way men lead, and I think it has to do with dominance of conversation and the way men dominate a conversation. When a woman does that, and then it's like in a very aggressive, you know, sometimes loud, guys interrupt each other, and it's no big deal. But when women behave that way, suddenly it's like,
yeah,
back up, you're too
there
much.
is the double standard with that for sure.
100%, right?
Yeah.
So
and we listen too. We listen more. And I think we, more than trying to get our point out, we do want to get our point out, but we're still listening, and that point can change when we're after listening to the other people.
yeah, there's an involvement, there's an intuitiveness, there's kind of a listening to the group and what is the truth that comes out of the understanding of the group, which is very much like how women culturally, I think over the centuries, have survived in terms of being community, of creating community and surviving through the creation of community, even though it might be a little group or a big group. So the two ways, the sort of top down and the circular ways of leading, don't often fit together, right? It takes a very evolved people, and there are some in Los Angeles, I would say, you know, in New York too. Like, evolved. Don't want to leave the evolved people out, you know, amazing, you know, men who listen women who are able to, be strong and dominate and share, and lead a group, and inspire. They're there. But I think they also have people beneath them and around them that are supporting them. They're not always like a singular person. It's very hard to be the lone leader. Very, very difficult. It's harder for women, I think, in a strange way, because we don't always necessarily, like, people think, oh, she's fine. Do you know what I mean? Whereas men are like, oh, here, be my minion. Women are like, or anybody, men or women, are like, sure, what do you need me to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of going on, but
well, you make a good point. Women are moving up through the ranks behind the scenes. It's just like getting back to the original question of on daytime. Well, at least they're being shown running companies, but they're not being shown in reality the way they would be running those companies.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely changes. There's more diversity. There's more gender,
inclusiveness
and inclusiveness. That's definitely been happening, which is great, and fun. Because I think that the best shows aren't like putting a hammer on it. They're saying, they're giving them storylines, and that's the point. Like, bring them in, don't push them to the side. Bring everybody together. This is our world, it's have representation of the world that we live in. So that's good. So good things are happening in that regard.
Okay, and now, ladies, I love to play games, so I thought, well, what could we do today? So I came up with this game, Days or Dynasty.
I love it.
And I found out some pretty unusual things, and it brought back so many memories just looking through the IMDb pages. So I'm going to give each of you a character. I'll just go back and forth. You tell me if that character was from Days or from Dynasty, and if you could name who played that character, you get another point. So I'll just go back. Oh my
gosh.
Okay. I'm going to start with Cady. Okay. Officially, Days or Dynasty? Jeff Colby.
Dynasty.
Yes. Any idea who played him?
No.
That's okay. I had to look it up. John James.
Oh, Terry's got it.
I had it.
And Messalina's keeping score. Okay, the next person for Terry, Dominique Devereaux.
Dynasty, and it was Diane Carroll.
Yes, it
Excellent.
was.
Cady.
Bing, bing, bing.
Jack Devereaux.
That's Days.
Yes, it is.
And that's Matthew. That's Matthew.
Yes, and you should know him.
Yeah.
Very well. Yes, very well. Okay, 2 points for Cady. Next one for Terry, Lexi Carver.
Days.
Yep. Any idea?
No.
That would be Renee Jones. Next one for Cady, Don Craig.
I don't know, so I'm just gonna guess Dynasty. I shouldn't have. I should have looked at Terry's face first.
That was Days, and I remember this character because I thought he was really handsome. We're going back a ways.
Who was it?
Jed Allen.
Oh, he was fabulous. He was on Santa Barbara with me.
Oh,
yeah, he was.
He was such a handsome man.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Okay, we're up to Terry.
And we're tied at the moment.
Okay.
It's tiebreaker.
Kristen Blake.
Days.
Yes. Who played her?
I don't know.
Eileen Davidson.
Oh, she was on Santa Barbara also.
Yep. Yep. She's all over the place.
She's a beauty. Yeah.
Cady, next one. Sammy Jo Dean.
I'm gonna say Dynasty.
Yes. Any idea who played her?
Terry will know. I don't know.
I can't give you the point, Terry, but do you know who played her?
Heather Locklear.
That's
yeah, a name like Sammy Joe, Like,
yeah, right.
Where else would you hear that? One time. Yeah.
Okay, and here's a very interesting one for Terry. Daniel Reese.
Days.
No, it was Dynasty.
Really? Who was
and you're
it?
not going to believe who played him. Rock Hudson.
Oh, that was the Rock Hudson character. They went off and did the Colbys, I think. And he stayed on Dynasty, right? I wasn't around that time.
Cady, the next one, Brady Black.
Days.
Who plays him?
I'm so bad with names. I do not know.
That would be Eric Martzoff, another very handsome man.
Right.
They all are
Yes.
on soap.
Nice
That's why we
guy.
watch
Yeah,
them.
they are.
Yeah, I haven't worked with him much, but he's a very nice guy. I met him
Yeah.
a couple
The last one before we go to the bonus round for Terri is
Ooh.
Blake Carrington.
That was my uncle on Dynasty,
And who played him?
John Forsyth.
Excellent. That's two points.
Right.
Yeah, he was a
Forsyth.
doll.
Was it Forsyth or Forsyth?
Forsyth.
Forsyth.
Forsyth. Yes.
Messalina, what is the score?
So Katie has 5 points and Terry has 6.
Okay.
Woo! And what do we win?
Well, no, we're not done yet. We have the bonus round.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Now this is was like crazy because I didn't know that this would ever happen. I found 2 actors that were on both Days and Dynasty.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Leanne
Does-
Hunley, right?
Yes.
Leanne
Excellent.
and I can't think of the other one.
Katie, do you know?
Not a clue.
I think we're going to have to give Terri all these extra points. But yes, Leanne Hunley is Anna DiMera on Days of Our Lives, and she was Dana Waring Carrington on Dynasty.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that is really cool.
Can I just tell you, I
Yeah.
knew when we started this game that Terry was going to kick my butt. I
Okay.
I could see the look in her eye.
Kicked your butt.
I am never playing Trivial Pursuit with you. You're good.
Oh, I'm so aggressive with that.
But you're good. You're good.
And I have one other for no points. Terri is the winner, but this is just something because I came up with a hint and I want to use the hint. There's one other male that was on both Days and Dynasty, so you probably find him roaming the halls in both of those studios.
Oh my God, of course, Brady. And he's married to Lynn Herring. Wayne Northrop.
Very
That's
good.
it. Wow.
I'm
Pulled that one
impressed.
out.
I am very impressed.
Really?
Excellent.
Thank
excellent,
you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
That's
Anyway,
for
you get the
Terry.
distinction of being the first winner of a game on this show. How's that?
Oh, thank you.
What did she win? You win this hair clip.
Oh, perfect. Just what I need. Thank you.
Well, that wraps another episode of The Libby Show, Lunch with the Ladies. Don't forget what Libby stands for. Ladies living in their best years. So all of you that are watching, please share the word with your friends. You can find out on our Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram where to find us, where to watch us. We're in many different places at Susie BTS or lunchwiththeladies.net. You can also find stuff there. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or look up any of our hosts and you'll find us there. Thanks for watching. And as I say all the time, every day, find some joy and give some joy.
Wake up with a smile, and then in a while, come to lunch with the